Hey, Paul McGinnis here. Thanks for checking out these videos. I'll post a couple each week just to give you some encouragement for today. We're just calling it the Daily Walk, just giving you some thoughts from Scripture that are going to help you today. If you want to be sure not to miss any, then just subscribe right below on the YouTube channel. I'm moving through the book of Matthew, Matthew's gospel, his account of the life of Jesus. And so probably a lot of these next thoughts are going to come from the early, from those early accounts of Jesus's life. And so feel free to read along with me. Just start reading through the Gospel of Matthew, the first book in the New Testament. And as I read through the first 3 chapters, I couldn't help but notice the one thing that ties all these people together. A ton of people are mentioned, especially in chapter 1, because chapter 1 just gives this genealogy of Jesus' life. Literally 42 generations of people, all the way back to Abraham, and how we trace his family line all the way to Jesus through his earthly parents, Mary and Joseph. And so chapter 1 lists these 42 generations, these 42 fathers, and then Jesus' earthly father and mother, Mary and Joseph. Chapter 2 zeroes in on these powerful people. Talks about the Magi, these rulers, these perhaps kings or some royalty, or at least wealthy, influential rulers from the East. And then the ruler named Herod, who was living there in Jerusalem, reigning over that area. So the rich and the powerful. And then chapter 3 shows us different kinds of religious leaders. Chapter 3 introduces us to the Pharisees, these buttoned up, somewhat pious, right, on the outside, just looked like they had everything together. They were a step above everyone else, religious leaders. And then John the Baptist, this totally, unlike anyone else, backwoods, wearing camel hair and eating locusts, a very different kind of religious leader, this outsider who's starting this revolution. Tons of different people, from the genealogies to the rich and powerful to different kinds of religious leaders and seekers. And the one thing that ties them all together is their connection to Jesus. Right, chapter 1 just shows us how this genealogy was built and how Jesus took the good and the bad and the ugly and everyone in between, the rich and the powerful and those that have a real sordid past, as well as those that are kings and nobility. And then chapter 2 shows how different people of power respond to Jesus, either by seeking him or, in Herod's case, by trying to eradicate him. And then how the religious leaders can either be too good to even accept Jesus, or in John's case, realize his need to humble himself and to point people to Jesus. So every character we've met so far in the book of Matthew is tied together by Jesus, and how they responded to Jesus is ultimately what set them apart. And friends, I can't help but realize that that's the exact same for you and me. What's ultimately going to either tie us together or set us apart is how we respond to Jesus. Whether we're somewhere in a strange family tree, whether we have some level of power or authority, no matter where we are on the religious spectrum, what's going to matter is how we respond to Jesus, right? And so may we be like Mary and Joseph, who rearranged the plans of their life to accommodate Jesus. May we be like the rich and powerful Magi, who set aside their wealth and their influence to seek after Jesus. May we be like John the Baptist, who does nothing more with his life but point people to Jesus. In each chapter we see good and bad examples, and may we be like those who follow after Jesus and let him be the one that ties us together today. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you'll subscribe and continue to follow and share some positive daily walk messages for each day.